Now, the Kenyan youth have been out in the street protesting, demonstrating, and just asking for better governance. They're just asking for something better other than what we're used to. I feel like it's become that stereotypical thing with African countries where there's prevalence in corruption, and it's just an okay thing. You know, there's police brutality, but that's just an African thing, you know? And I feel like the Kenyan youth are just tired. In general, the African youth are just tired of this, and we have been screaming for change. We want better, so please do better, guys. And what I love about the Kenyan demonstration, the demonstration by the youth that's been going on, led, I hate that it's become a Gen Z thing, but the Kenyan demonstration, we have impacted, you know, with change. At the end of the day, change is change. But I feel like the most important thing, or the thing that has really stood out for me, is the fact that we have been leaderless. That way, there's nobody for you to call for dialogue. Unless you do what we want you to do, there's nobody you can call to the table and harass, intimidate, or bribe. We have been leaderless, formless, fearless. And because of this, it's not like an organized structure where you can say, okay, you guys, you have a problem, come. Elect your representatives to come represent you, because we have elected representatives and they have gone to enrich themselves. So just like, that's not working for us. And it's become, you know, such a task for the government to, you know, call for order and stop the protest, that even the president of the nation had to come on X Spaces to talk to the Kenyan youth so that they would feel heard. But still, nothing meaningful came out of it. It was just being called out left, right, and center. That was last week. And we're just like, guys, you guys have no fear. That's the president you're talking to like that. Now, fast forward, here we are, still leaderless, still formless. And because of this, protests are just coming up wherever, whenever. Today, Nairobi guys are protesting. There's no leader, like spontaneous, very organic. And then the next day you hear Kirinyaga youth in the streets. It's just like, okay, nobody planned that. Unakaka kidogo, Nyanza youth in the streets. It's just like, no, we didn't even know about it. Sometimes protests even happen and you're not even aware. You're like, when you guys are gatekeeping, what is happening? And we love that for us. It just shows that there's nobody benefiting from this. There's nobody trying to sabotage the government or anything. It is just the youth. Ukichoka tu hivi unaanza kusema tu your slogans. 10 people join you, just to show how tired the Kenyan youth are. 10 people join you. Mnashikana hivi mnaanza kwenda town ku demonstrate. It's just become very chaotic, but still we love that it has grabbed the attention of a few people. Now, previously, Anini, content creator, has been very vocal and at the forefront of this movement, talking, going to demonstrations and really using her platform to call for change. And I think the video that really stood out is when she said, Raila, we are sorry. We never knew this is what you were doing the whole time. So please, stay at home. You have taught us well, and we are going to do it. And Agombo even replied to that tweet in a tweet and said, thank you, my daughter. I have heard you. Continue fighting for change. So why, tell me why, when there was the IBC bill being passed, I think it was yesterday, why does Raila Odinga, in the company of other old men, this IBC board and bill being passed, it was just a group of old men. No representation, no young people, no women involved. It was just a group of very old men going to pass the IBC bill. And I'm just like, okay, that's interesting. And Raila took that opportunity to now call the youth and kind of appoint himself as the leader for Gen Z, rather the protest, and say, we are going to sit down for dialogues across the board. And he's just like, but who elected you, boo? Why are you giving yourselves roles? This is the same reason Anini got cancelled, because she elected herself. And the Kenyan youth were like, hey, please, sit down, ma'am. You do not speak for us. But it's the same thing with Raila Odinga. We said we were doing this for you. You have done it for a long time, so let us take charge. And then you get on board and sit and party and kiki with the people we are, you know, protesting against, and say, we are going to sit down for dialogues. Who are you representing? who called you there? Why, who are you even? So I feel like that's the same sentiment that has been echoed by Anini, and it's just a representation of what all of us are feeling. Why? What was the reason? We are formless and fearless. So stop doing too much, boo. Go back to retirement.
Yeah, I feel like even the comment section was reflective of what people are feeling.
Yeah.
Because after Raila Amolo Odinga came through and he said that he wants to get into negotiations. I'm trying to find it on the blog that I saw it. When he said he's coming through and trying to have conversations about the same thing. Most people were just saying that, look, when is Gen Z? First of all, answer that question. When is Gen Z? Because it doesn't make sense that you're saying that you are coming and having negotiations on behalf of who? We had people on the comment section saying things like tribeless generation. Someone else said, karibu tuamini you are different, and then ukaanguka nayo. Another person akasema uzuri baba hajawai kuwa president. Someone else said saa ingine heri kunyamaza. Other people saying unatembea baba kama bibi yako. Unatubeba baba kama sisi ni bibi yako. Others saying, and like the stomach, the brain does not alert you when it is empty. Basically, a lot of the youth were saying the same thing. Now the Gen Zs are the new opposition. That was the sentiment that was being echoed across board. People saying that, look, we have not elected any representation. Nobody among us has actually stood up and said that they are our leader, because we have said and said again. Leaderless, tribeless, what was the other one? It was leaderless, tribeless, and we all are marching for the same cause, which is the change in the system. And to be entirely honest, the changes in the system need to be evaluated, because even more recently we had the auditor Nancy Gathongo saying that yes, she flagged a point and said that the government has an inability to account for loans. Literally, out of 32 loans that have been taken by the government to fund projects, only 2 have actually shown the process of negotiation and the completion of that negotiation. And those 2 are, I think it was, yes, there are only 2 projects, Sondumuriu hydropower project and Sangoro power plant, which provided a complete information on budget and loan negotiations. So you can already see that every time the government is called out to clearly explain what they're doing, what they've done so far, the inadequacies of our government so far are crazy. Because imagine, out of 32 loans that were taken by the government, only 2 can be accounted for. 32 versus 2. Like, all the others, where's the money? Like, who are we going to ask these questions? Because if we do not have public participation, if we do not have people being involved in these projects to actually show the accountability of what the money is doing, where it is going, did it actually go? Like, there was a whole audit of all of these projects headed by everyone, including the Azimio political party, including the president. There's so many projects, and all of them are turning up incomplete. So we really don't care what tribe you are. I had what is the name, Siguna, saying, oh, you know, just because you're saying you're leaderless, it doesn't mean that Baba doesn't have people who are listening to him. He's a leader of some people, not everyone, but some people, including himself. And we're like, okay, but then keep those conversations to yourself. Stop associating people and what do you call it, and binding people together as one. It's unfair, and it will reduce the conversation that is going on. It will divert the conversation to start now fighting a Guambo as well. Really, truly, honestly, you're not helping anyone. So let's hush and let the youth express themselves in the way that they want to express themselves, because it is time. The impunity must stop. And as you can see, other countries are echoing what Morimo was saying, including Nigeria. We've seen Ghana. Many other African countries are coming up and standing up against them. Even the running meme of someone, this guy sitting on the couch, standing, going to the corner, like moving around in the room. And the caption is, Africans wondering if they can hire Gen Z, Kenyan Gen Z, to come and fight and protest on their behalf against their own against their own wrong leaders. Long story short, the youth are doing what they need to do. You just take a back.